Coming on this trip for me, there was no clear path to making it happen. I had just come from India and spent all the money I had to go there and had help to get there. And I had heard about this opportunity with Brother Charles Narr, and it spoke to me for whatever reason, even though I too could never imagine myself at any sort of revival of any type. I mean, I go to church on Sunday, I'm there most of the day. I love church just as much as the next guy, but twice a day for a week just isn't on my agenda. and so that part of the trip was sort of out, in terms of that's, so then what else is left? Well, we're going to go do clean water. And, usually I have a tool bag on and I'm swinging a hammer on these trips. And God had a different plan for me, right? He wanted me to document what had happened instead of actually get my hands into what we were doing. And so that wasn't exactly 100% fit either. I'm, as most of you know, I'm a somewhat energetic guy and I like to go do things. And so that wasn't a perfect fit either. And then the eye clinic, the other part of this ministry, and we were just going to go document the eye clinics, in preparation for coming back. And so that wasn't 100% fit either. And everywhere I looked, there was no clear path or reason why I should come. I really didn't understand why I was to come on this trip. And I don't understand God, and I don't understand God's direction for me. God is phenomenon to me, and I'm thankful for that. But, one thing that has always happened on these trips, and it happened more on this trip than any other trip, is, get those goose flesh there, is every time I step out, and it looks like I'm stepping out over an abyss, God comes up and puts something under my feet, and I'm able to move forward. And if I'm afraid of that abyss, I wouldn't be on this trip. If I feared that abyss, I wouldn't have been on this trip. If I feared that abyss any other trip, I would have never been on any trip. Because there's always somebody sick, there's always not enough money, there's always some kind of responsibility. And I stepped out over that abyss even more because there didn't seem to be any clear path for me or any clear charter for me. But I'll tell you what, putting down those hammer bags and picking up that camera and looking through that lens at all of you doing God's work and working for the kingdom, it allowed me to see the beauty and content and an anointing, a righteousness that I'd never seen on any other trip before. And I mean, we do good things on other trips, but looking through the lens of that camera put me in a place where I'm completely in awe. And the revival, I too, at the end of that revival, was like, what am I going to do tomorrow? There's no revival, right? And when we got to Toronto, and I got to see the people there in the water and what it has done for them and what it means. I mean, like Stephen said, Brother Stephen said, it means not getting bit by snakes. It also means being healthy, not having dysentery, not having all of these diseases, waterborne diseases, right? But it also means no drownings. It also means that we can have more animals, so we can have more prosperity. It also means we can start new industries. We can make bricks now because we have enough water so that we can have a new industry. We can take our agriculture and clean it and bind it together with clean water and have a product and go out and sell it, have more prosperity. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds into a crescendo of prosperity. And so that ended up being the impact to me, is that Brother Narr's ministry covers so many aspects of life. The spiritual, it covers the economic, it covers the children, it covers the human, the body, the health, the fundamental sustenance of water. And in that is a wholeness and a righteousness that really connected with me.